right, what is up, YouTube? We are back with another vlog. I'm telling you guys, I'm trying to take it seriously. As I've said 1,000 times, oh well, too bad, so sad we're here. But yeah, we're back, right? I think we're about 4 weeks out or so from the Powerlifting America meet, and you know, this is definitely going to be fun. I feel a lot better going into this week than I did last week. I think last week I was running on like 80%. This week I'm coming into it feeling like 95%, which is good. Means that my body is getting back to its rhythm, especially going into this week where things are going to kind of ramp up a little bit, but not crazy on squat. I think we're going to go for 530, 540, pretty easy single for me, to be honest. And then bench 352, and then deadlift 606, right? And last week's deadlift, looking back at the video, I'm kind of like, I'm not extremely happy with it, but I'm also realizing that my approach to deadlift is going to have to be different for a stiff bar in comparison to a deadlift bar. What people don't understand with a deadlift bar, your job is to pull as much slack as you can. So if you see the bar here, it's flat. You need to be able to pull as high as you possibly can and then manipulate it, or maintain it, I should say, and being able to pull up with that, right? A stiff bar is going to stay here the entire time, all the way to the top. You're not going to see that level of slack, well, even then it's going to be like this much, until you hit like 705 pounds. So I'm under the impression that I'm trying to pull the slack out the same way I'm trying to on a deadlift bar. It's not the case. I studied it. I was looking at some other friends that pull off a stiff bar with hook grip sumo, and I'm like, I have to exaggerate more of pushing my hips back a little bit and elongating myself so I'm able to get an even distribution of push-pull, right? So downwards push, my legs pushing into the floor and pulling up into the bar at the same time. And I'm not looking for necessarily slack pull, but more so trying to make myself as long as I possibly can, so that way my arms are able to really be hooks with my hook grip, and I'm able to leverage and stand tall, right? So we'll see how that goes. Besides that, everything's moving fine. I haven't checked my weight, but I'm pretty sure we're sitting between 242 to 245, which is totally fine. That's kind of the goal right now. We're not trying to go too crazy on the weight, because if I become too heavy, then my leverages are going to change too much specifically for deadlift. So I'm trying to avoid that. But besides that, we feel good, and that's all that matters. And we're gonna continue to run it. So just got to the gym. We're gonna go train, and then we're gonna have some fun and see what we end up hitting today. So I also changed some of the, I adjusted some of the things on the camera, so hopefully it looks a little bit better, because I was looking at the footage from last week and it was terrible, especially on the squat day. I don't know what happened, but that squat session was god awful as far as footage. So I'm hoping this time's going to be a little bit better. We'll find out. I already like the clarity on this setup so far, so we're going to see. But let's go train. Let's go do that. Okay, bye. Alright, that was the single for squat. Felt pretty good. It was supposed to be an RP 8. That's not an 8, which is good. It means that my body is recovering. My output's a lot better. And hopefully next week we'll hit 551 to cap it all out. I don't really have any intention of pushing more than 562. Go 2 for 2, save energy for deadlift, and still be able to break a 1,600 pound total. So yeah, not bad. Gotta do these back downs, trying to speed up my rest periods in between sets, warming up, because on meet day it's gonna be very fast paced. I gotta be ready for it. And that's the thing with powerlifting. Sometimes, depending on what federation you compete with, you're going to have to train according to the pacing of that federation. And USAPL, Powerlifting America, they're known for being faster paced. Being a heavier powerlifter, you have to be conditioned for that. So decrease your rest periods, and you'll be ready for basically anything. So I'm good. I feel pretty good. It's just hot, but I'm actually happy that it's hot, because I know come meet day it's going to be an enclosed gym, so it's going to be hot in the warm-up area. Again, trying to create very similar environments so that when meet day comes, I'm not like, oh shit, I wasn't prepared for it. That's the worst thing you can do if you're not prepared. Put yourself in the worst positions you can, be prepared for it, so that if it is a better position, then you're going to do great. So I'm going to go do my accessories, my back downs, and then we have pause deads and some spoto press. So should be fun. Let's run it. All right, so it's Tuesday, and yesterday's squat session wasn't too bad. We definitely learned a lot. Obviously, I posted the pause deadlifts from that day, and definitely starting to figure out that the technique to stiff bar versus that of deadlift bar are very different from one another. With deadlift bar, it's the biggest focus is to pull and maintain as much slack as you can. But with the stiff bar, I almost have to kind of relax myself into position. That was something my coach was really harping on, is like being able to just pull up into the bar like as your slack pull, but it's really just elongating yourself. And then from there, being able to drop your hips into position, not necessarily sitting back, because if you sit back and putting all of your weight into your heels, that's when the over pulling begins to happen. That's when you see people start to kind of pull their shoulders behind the bar. If you do that, you're going to trap the hip, and then you're screwed. And this goes for sumo and conventional. So you just want to make sure, kind of playing with that, and we'll see where things end up as we get closer to a heavier deadlift. We do have a 606 pull today. I'm pretty confident now, seeing the difference between the two setups and executions. I'm like, all right, we might have a shot at this, but it's going to demand a lot more patience from me at the very bottom. So the biggest concern or focus is definitely going to be creating more midsection strength, lower back strength, so we don't have any issues with that patience off the ground. And also making sure that my legs are pushing as hard as they can too. So make sure you do your accessories. But so far I feel good. It's just getting hotter, and we ball, and that's how it goes. But today will be an easy day. We have a 3 count pause. Yeah, 3 count pause bench. So definitely be an interesting day. And then we have accessories, get a nice pump going, build as much muscle mass as we can. We'll see what's there on meet day, and then we'll go from there. So enough talking. Let's go train. Maybe I'll shoot today. Maybe I won't. Yeah, I probably will. All right, see you guys in a bit.
I go back.
that was the session. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how deadlift is progressing as a whole, but I think I'm gonna have to set some more realistic expectations when it comes to this meet. If this had moved a little bit better, I would have had more confidence with pushing like 640 next week, and then by meet day pushing 300. But it's looking like we're probably going to end up capping out at 640 on meet day, right? And this isn't a defeatist mentality. This is just reality. Like, I'm pushing 30, number one. Number two, I've been competing for almost 10 years. Number three, I just competed 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. And I'm competing in another 3 or 4 weeks, right? My body is not paced at that point to where, like, I've had an opportunity to ramp myself back up again. So it's going from peak into peak. There's no prep. My buddy Richard was on my ass about this. Like, there is no prep. We're just peak into peak. And for some people, they can pull it off. Some people, they can't. We're just going to take what's their meet day. If we miraculously pull off a 300 kilo pull, then cool. If not, then also cool. I know I'm strong enough to hit it. I just know that we just have to take what's there on meet day, right? That comes with maturity in the sport. And also, transitioning from deadlift bar to stiff bar does play a part in this. I know there's going to be other people that are going to say a bar is a bar. It's not. Sorry if that's what you believe. Cool, fantastic. That's great. Good for you. I'm proud of you. But realistically, stiff bar, I would say is, I don't want to say easier, but I kind of prefer it a little bit better than deadlift bar. I feel that deadlift bar, the skill comes from being able to manipulate the slack. And with a stiff bar, it's more so leveraging yourself a little bit more. So being able to learn that skill again, so that way I can become a better deadlifter in general, is probably going to be the most important thing. So we'll see what's their meet day. I'm not freaking out about it. It is what it is. We're just going to make sure we take care of ourselves going closer into the meet, because the last thing I want is to have any type of injury come meet day, which that goes for anyone, right? But with that being said, that's the video, guys. Nice and easy. Overall, this was a really good week of training. Oh, that was a really good week of training. Just wrapped up our last meal of the day, so we're just going to enjoy the weekend. And then next week, we have another week, probably our heaviest week of prep training, whatever you want to call this, and then we'll go from there. So, as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Love you guys. Hit those PRs, and I'll see you on the platform.